If you're joining us, this might be a little different than any of the other marketing content you've consumed with us because we're going to tell you why Google Ads are broken and you probably shouldn't run them in general or anymore for your practice. What does that mean? Maybe why do we think that? And where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? If you revisit, some of you remember, 20 years ago, it was an advanced marketing strategy to get your name in the yellow pages. Hey, is your name in the yellow pages? And now it's dead. Are Google Ads dying with AI? Are they dying in the vine? What's going on with them? We talk to practice owners every day running ads, and their ads just are not working. And so we need to unpack this and figure out how you cannot be taken to the cleaners if you do decide to spend money on Google Ads.
Yeah. So I think the important thing to remember here is that just like the yellow pages, just like television or billboards or networking or whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's like today, Google Ads is just a traffic source. So it is just a place you can go to spend money to get eyeballs on your business. And so when we're looking at traffic sources, some sources get more expensive over time. Some sources get less expensive over time. Google Ads certainly has got more expensive. And just like all places that get a lot of attention, they continue to get more expensive. It's inflation, it's the economy, it's whatever you want to call it. So things just get more expensive, which means you have to be extra precise about how you handle your strategies. What tactics are you deploying? You have to be extra precise about which metrics are telling you that you're moving in a good direction or a bad direction. And if you're not able to do that, if you're just saying, let's rip the Band-Aid off, let's run the yellow page ad, or let's just throw $300 at Google and see what happens, you're probably not going to get where you want to go. And I'll add to that, marketing is a complex organism. It involves a long song and dance where you get people's eyeballs, you have conversations with people, those conversations turn into new clients or not. You maybe follow up with those individuals, they come back and work with you. If you're around for long enough, you live to see it all. And so this is a very complex system, and a lot of people just aren't ready for it.
We'll circle back to the complexity of the system in just a second. I came across a Google research study literally yesterday on 7-4-11. 7-4-11. Just Google Google's 7-4-11 outcomes or whatever. And to boil it down for you is essentially the average user needs to spend about 11 interactions on 4 different platforms, totaling about 7 hours of content or consumption with you before they make a purchasing decision. And that's what their research finds, which is that felt astronomical to me, to both have the platform diversity, the volume of hours, and the quantity of touch points or opt-ins within those channels in and of itself. And so when we think about something like a phone, if you had your phone from 10 years ago, it would be almost non-functional today for the use cases and the expectation that you would want to get out of it. And the phone isn't quite like the yellow pages, which its standalone thing became obsolete for how people want to use it. The phone is evolving technology because of the millions of minor modifications that the iPhone has gone through over the last 15 to 20 years since its inception. It fundamentally functions at a higher level, but phone calls and its use case isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And Google Ads, if we actually boil down to why they work and why they don't work and why you should or shouldn't use them, that's kind of where they sit, where the strategies and nuance needed, the system needed to successfully keep up with utilizing Google Ads as a traffic source just looks vastly different. So if you're approaching it or your vendor's approaching it with a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, or a 15-year-old mindset and strategy, principle, and system process, you are going to fail when you are directly competing next to the person using a 2025 strategy. And those big box platforms that a lot of small practices we hear blame every day for their lack of Google Ads success or the competitiveness or some of those things, they do have big budgets, which means they're running more ads, but they're getting their ad success by building a better system that they're running, and that they're taking the time to do that more so than they are just throwing money at the problem. And that's a big piece of this. So Attilio, let's unpack a little bit. What does a Google Ads strategy system look like? Not just the typical experience of throwing an ad together.
Yeah. So the types of things that like Therapy Flow goes through to get Google Ads to work, ultimately, there's a few things that we do, right? One is we have to create a high converting ad. So that's just an ad that people want to click and interact with. And now, guys, there's not like some magic word that we're using that other people aren't using. Okay. It's not like we're saying CBT in just the right way. People want to interact with your ads differently. It's that we're placing an ad in the right spot to the right user at the right time. And we have so many other tests and so many data points because we have so many clients running so many other ad dollars that we get to choose winners from all over the place. And if something starts losing, we get to substitute in another win. Okay. So it's not like there's like some crazy system. It's just we literally have so much data at our disposal, even in the face of an inconsistency. Now, the next thing that we take a look at is things like your landing page. So this is after someone clicks on your ad, where are they going? The reason why we prefer landing pages is for two big reasons. One is it amplifies the tracking that we can do. So because of HIPAA restrictions, we actually can't do some of the like data tracking and data sharing things that you'd be able to do in other industries. And so we've opted to do a landing page so that we can maximize what we can do and we minimize what we can't do, or eliminate what we can't do, right? From a HIPAA compliance perspective. So this landing page is great for tracking and data sharing for our perspective. And it allows us to create an experience for the people clicking through those ads, which is an action-oriented experience rather than maybe an experience that we may lose a bunch of clicks. So we opt to do landing pages. We need to track and make sure that no one gets lost or forgotten. I said earlier that marketing is like a song and dance with a lot of touch points. It's this huge organism. And one part of the organism is not just your Google Ads. It's actually what happens once the person gets in contact with your practice. And this is arguably one of the most important parts. And so while we provide a software to help you track and manage, we also provide coaching and accountability and team members that are constantly looking at your account, seeing where the bottlenecks are and adjusting strategies or providing information about the strategy that you and your team can implement to improve your results. And then beyond that organism, this is a living system, which means sometimes things get sick, right? Sometimes things wake up and feel achy in the morning. Sometimes things feel great and we need to measure and monitor when they're feeling great. Sometimes things build great muscle and it's ready for a new challenge. And you need all of that information for your practice so that you can capitalize on when things are going well. And when things aren't going well, you're finding new innovative ways to tweak and improve your system so that it continues to have a positive trajectory for your practice.
When we think about a Google Ads optimization process from the top to the bottom, number one is your most important outcome. Are you getting new clients from the ads that you're running? Recently, one of the things that I've been telling people who do choose to run ads and really run marketing in general is Google Ads don't have to bring you all of the different types of clients that you want to see. Just because your practice does EMDR and psych testing and 15 other things if you're a large group practice, right? Your Google ads don't have to successfully bring you every single kind of those clients in equal proportion or in equal distribution. No, what you want most from your Google ads is a high enough volume of clients from what you're spending to be profitable on that marketing strategy. If you go to the grocery store, right, and you buy food for your dinner, your chicken's going to cost a certain amount and your salad's going to cost a certain amount. And the goal there is just to meet your needs with both ones, even though they cost different, will have different calories and different nutrients. Your Google ads cost different and have sort of a different nutrient supply for your practice than your word of mouth networking and your other marketing strategies. And so I think that sometimes we're like, oh, this should meet all of my practice's needs. No, a great Google ad system just gives you a positive return on investment from the dollars you put into this traffic category.
Yeah, I'll kind of touch on that a little bit because I think there's two really important points that we don't really talk about is that your business loves referrals. My business loves referrals. But that's only like the 5% of total people out there that you can work with. And when you build systems around referrals, you're actually building a system using survivor bias. So survivorship bias is it's just the people who made it through that were probably going to work with you anyway. And it's a bad way to actually grow your business. And so the cool thing about Google Ads is that you're going to go after people who have no idea who you are. And it will force you to build a system that allows you to grow. So it will force you to build a system that allows you to grow because now you can work with like the 95% of people that actually exist that need help. And you just have to build that system to work with those individuals. I think the other thing that we always forget too is that there's a huge benefit to doing something like Google Ads, and it's that they are scalable. So the thing about Psych today is that it's not scalable, right? You've got your one profile. If you want more attention from Psych today, you have to get another profile, right? And how many times can you make the same clinician on Psych today? You can't, okay? Some of you are sneaky though. So I've seen some of you guys out there with the double or triple profiles on some of your clinicians. But for the most part, Google Ads is really scalable. You just spend more money there and you make more money. And the cool thing is that there's economies of scale that exist. There's a reason why guys like BetterHelp or guys like the Almas out there are running Google Ads. And it's because you can make money there. And the more you spend, oftentimes you get a higher return on investment. So just kind of keep that in mind. Google Ads allows you to build a system that works for your practice growth, and it's scalable, and that you just have to spend a little more money and you can get more out of it, which is really cool.
At the end of the day, you should not run Google Ads. And we don't think you should run Google Ads if you are not committed to a system approach of building a complex system for yourself or working with a partner that will build a complex system that looks at the ads to the relationship with the landing page, to the relationship to the tracking, to the relationship to the follow-up, to the relation to the ROI ad spend ratio for your cost per acquisition for your specific practice. The environment for Google Ads has gotten infinitely more complex compared to 5 or 10 years ago. And we wish maybe, right, that technology for ad marketing and targeting with Google Ads remained more simple. It's actually only going to get a little bit more complex in certain ways with the introduction of AI targeting and other layers and knowing how to leverage that. But there is also an opportunity here. There are many, many practice owners not taking this approach and not seeing the success they want as a result of it, and many that are staying away from Google Ads as a way to scale their practice because they don't want to deal with the vague complexity. It's a little bit like the equivalent of saying, I never want to touch the financial markets and invest for my retirement because it just seems a little crazy and a little daunting. But 10 years from now, 30 years from now, when you go to retire, you're going to be wishing that you had made a different financial choice. Same with your practice. The best time to look at complex marketing systems that get you great scalable results is now, because it will get you scalable results for the business you want to build. And this is the price, so to speak, that you have to pay to make that happen.
Yeah. The cool thing is, guys, when you're spending money, it's an investment into your marketplace and it's an investment into your practice. And at the end of the day, you're either using money or you're using your time to get attention for your business. And in some capacity, one of the safest things you can do is swallow the hard pill to swallow, and I'll say just like grow up into the business owner that you want to be, because the business owner that you want to be is the one that's getting the results that you want, and the results that you want are probably on the opposite end of spending more money than you want to, or spending more money than you think you want to get a return that's actually the return that you're looking for. So I've said it on coaching calls before, and I'll say it now. The goal isn't to try and spend $300 in 1 month on your business, because you're going to get nowhere like that. The goal is to spend tens of thousands of dollars on your business and to be fully committed into your business for years to come on building the systems and creating the environment where you'll succeed with multiples. Okay. And so I think the hard pill to swallow here is that there's a world where you spend $10,000 a month, or you spend, we've known practices that spend $1 million a month, and fully these guys are generating enormous volume of leads and business for their practice. And it's only sustainable if they're making business on the other end. And so I just prompt you guys to think through that and think and say, if other people are making it work, how can I make it work? And do I need to maybe play bigger than I think I need to play? Can't remember who says it, but scared money don't make money. I think that really goes well here.
We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.